injured 5 weeks ago in a game against the Raiders. Knee surgery. He says he will be back. It was a severe injury. He was out here on a very cool night for San Diego to help celebrate Charlie Joyner Day. The mayor of San Diego proclaiming Charlie Joyner Day today. Mayor Roger Hedgecott, Charlie Joyner's coach from Grambling, Eddie Robinson, was here to help celebrate the fact that he is now the league's leading all-time receiver. Bob Thomas kicks away for the Bears. This will be Lionel James from the 12-yard line. Look out. James has an open field. Lionel James. Look at Little Train. Down to the 35-yard line. Tripped up by Jack Cameron. He had to go through a lot of gymnastics. But he brings it back 55 yards. Here comes the Little Train.
Does a good job. He gets behind his wedge there. He breaks it off to his left. That's the move right there. He turned up the pursuit. Obviously, they weren't watching him. His way, he makes one little mistake. He slows down to make this move. And you can't slow down to make a move, but he's done an excellent job of giving his team field position on the 36-yard line.
Whoa, there we go, Little Train. Bears in trouble once again. They're trailing 6-0. First down and 10. Ed Luther, of course, remains the quarterback. Dan Faust unable to play tonight.
Oh, boy.
And Luther again feeling the pressure. This time Otis Wilson, the linebacker, was breathing on his right side. Pass intended for Wes Chandler. Thus far tonight, Charlie Joyner has not had a reception, as Ed Luther has been 7 of 16 through the first half for 99 yards. The total offense generated by San Diego 133 yards, but they do lead 6-0 on 2 Ralph Inertia field goals, 1 of 48, 1 of 27. Second down and 10. Holohan in motion. There's a little rollout. And getting the ball to Wes Chandler is Luther, and there'll only be a pickup of about 4 as Todd Bell, one of the fine safeties for Chicago. Good tackling safeties. There's Todd Bell. He's 6'1", 205 pounds. Back there with Gary Fencing. They hit like linebackers, and as a matter of fact, Mike Ditka this morning characterized his safeties as linebackers to us.
Linebackers playing safety.
They did an interesting thing that time, San Diego. They put Holohan in motion, and when he came back from his motion to hook the defensive end to allow his quarterback to roll to his right. So their game plan obviously is to try to roll somewhat against the Chicago pressure.
Third down, the ball at the 31-yard line. Pressure, and down goes Luther.
I can see why they might want to
safety blitz on, and getting in there with Dave Durison, second-year man from Notre Dame, and now the Chargers are backed up out of field goal range on that sack, and it shows you why the defense has been so effective for the Bears. Benershka was well within range until the sack, the safety blitz, drops Luther all the way back to the 40-yard line. Instead of bringing out Benershka, we're going to see the punter, Maury Buford.
The pride of Mount Pleasant, Texas.
Yeah. Well, the Chicago won that battle. They should have expected a blitz. They didn't. San Diego should have been rolling.
Fisher is back as Buford puts it up high, looking for the coverage.
I think he's got
Look at all that. And it takes a San Diego bounce into the end zone for the touchback. Chicago dodges a bit of a bullet as Lionel James came out with a 55-yard kickoff return to open the second half. Chicago will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. Those are the stats. The offense generated by the two teams in the first quarter, and now will dissolve into the halftime numbers. And if you were not with us, the starting quarterback for the Bears, Steve Fuller, went down with a separated shoulder. Jim McMahon, of course, unavailable, probably for another 2 or 3 weeks. Probably not until the playoffs with that lacerated liver he suffered 5 weeks ago against the Raiders. He can't go. We're watching Rusty Lish, fourth-year man out of Notre Dame. This is his first year with the Bears. He tosses out to Walter Payton. Payton, who has been frustrated all evening, cuts back and gets about 3 yards to bring up a second down and 7. Walter only had 24 yards in 8 attempts in the first half. San Diego surprisingly strong defensively.
It's been one of those things where they just sputtered a little bit, haven't they, Frank? They haven't been able to get much consistency in that offense.
Well, they're waiting for their defense to do something for them, Chicago, and they've done it for them all year long. At this point. I wouldn't think that Coach Ditka is too concerned because he's in the ball game, only 6 points down, and I think he expects his defense to give him some field position here sooner or later.
Second down and 6. Ball at the 24-yard line of Chicago. Payton again on the draw. Payton slips as he took the handoff and is short of the first down. Well, now, this will be dependent upon where they mark it. He might have stumbled forward to get it.
I got a feeling he just did slip. They had a little hole that time. That was one of the biggest holes he's had to work with.
Well, there's not much grass there, and if he has on short cleats, he could have a little problem keeping his footing. But they're doing the right thing right now. They've gotten rid of the exotics, and they're getting back to basic football. And when you have a huge offensive line, which the Chicago Bears have, and Walter Payton in the backfield, sometimes you should just get real simple and give him the ball and
go right
beat him up a little bit.
Give the ball to Walter.
First down and 10. This overthrowing the intended receiver, Brad Anderson. It'll bring up second down and 10.
You see that a lot. He has a linebacker that may be in his line of sight, and man, if the young quarterback doesn't throw very often out there, he's going to get that thing high and outside. Don't want him to pick it off.
Well, he had Matsui standing there about 8 yards down the field all by himself. I'm sure Matt came back to the huddle and said, hey, I'm wide open, come back to it.
Quick look at Mike Ditka, now in his third year. There's been no talk with Mike Ditka about renewing that contract, but one would have to suspect that management, headed by Mike McCaskey, will get around to that very shortly. Hey, this time he is really popped. Runs into Lee Williams, player who is in his rookie year out of Bethune-Cookman and played the full season with the Los Angeles Express before signing here a few weeks ago. Good pass rush. He had 11 sacks for the Express this past season.
Well, he just took a hard inside against Keith Van Horn, fine offensive tackle from the University of Southern California. He just beat him right off the ball.
Had that quick start, didn't he?
Lee Williams.
All right, 3rd and 11 now. You got to have something exotic. What are you going to call, Coach?
3rd down and 11. Chicago finding the San Diego defense, I think, a little more than they anticipated coming into tonight.
I'll hit my tight end crossing.
Fish in trouble. Fish will go down.
If I have time.
He did not have time. First man there was Lee Williams. He got help from Lyndon King, and the loss will be all the way back to the 23-yard line. That was when he went into the arms of Lee Williams. And we'll see the punting unit coming on for Chicago. Coryell is, I'll tell you, he has got to be awfully proud of this team because they have run through 65 players on their roster this season, as I mentioned earlier. Injury racked in that secondary, starting 2 cornerbacks who had not started this season and weren't even with the Chargers as of 8 weeks ago. Lionel James is back for San Diego. They should have good field position. Finzer on to punt. Not a good kick, but it's going to be semi-effective as it goes out of the 39-yard line, taking a Chicago bounce. There'll be a net of 39 yards. San Diego will have good field position. Ed Luther getting last moment advice. San Diego Chargers are 6 and 7. They're out of the playoff picture. The Chicago Bears are 9 and 4 tonight. They could go to 10 and 4. Stay ahead of those 3 teams: Washington, the Redskins, and Dallas in the NFC East. They'll have to stay ahead of the winner of that division to get that home field advantage for the first playoff game. Chargers with the ball. Jackson on 1st and 10. It's a couple out over the 40-yard line to the 42. Get there by Mike Singletary. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
Mike Singletary does an excellent job inside. He may be the best middle linebacker in the game today in playing against the run. He reminds me of a young Hacksaw Reynolds. He really fills the holes whenever he sees it. Does an excellent, excellent job.
Got the Southwest Conference represented in the middle of that line. Got one up from Hampton from Arkansas, McMichael from Texas, and Singletary from Baylor.
Ball right at the 42-yard line. San Diego leading 6-0. We're in the 3rd quarter. Nearly 5 minutes gone. Luther, oh boy, trying to get it in to his receiver, who was well covered. Mike Singletary batted it away. Holohan was, Bobby Duckworth was the intended receiver.
The isolation on Singletary. He was MVP down in that conference a few times. He's not too big. He's only about 5'11". They say he's 6 feet. He was right there. Oh, nice shot there. Hello.
I just wanted to know it. You don't want you trying to catch a tip ball.
That was Todd Bell. He plays like a linebacker at times.
I want to stand around when you're playing the Bears. Keep the feet moving. 3rd long for Ed Luther. Bears forego the blitz, but they get the pressure nevertheless. And Luther pops it up, and I think San Diego gets it back. Jackson was there. He was held in for blocking. Luther gave it away. But Steve McMichael was there. That's the third sack of the night for the Bears. They now have 56 for the season as they continue to increase the record. And Luther limping.
A little dejected there. I think he was trying to pitch the ball underhand to Ernest Jackson. Got hit as he was attempting to do it.
Jeff Fisher is back on fourth down. Buford on again. We have not seen a whole lot of offense tonight. Buford, end over end, short punt. Here comes Fisher. Fisher with a fine return, caught a little bit of a gap and gets to about the 47-yard line, 34-yard punt, and it was a low punt, the kind you can bring back, and Fisher promptly brought it back 17 yards. Bears in great field position. We'll be right back.
1982. Wes Chandler of the Chargers caught 10 passes for 260 yards against Cincinnati. A Monday Night Football record.
The Chicago Bears, 9:04 remaining in the third quarter, down 6-0, get their best starting field position of the night. And they will be at the San Diego Chargers 48-yard line. The deepest they have penetrated is San Diego's 43-yard line. Walter Payton back inside, runs into Chuck Ian and a lot of his friends, and down he goes with a gain of about a yard. Bill Elko, the nose tackle, helping out Chuck Ian. Not much offense. The punters have tied their season's high for punts per game, both of them. Buford for San Diego and Finzer for Chicago. Buford's had 6, Finzer's had 7.
And they have a quarter and a half to go, so we may see 2 records tonight.
Payton, 35 yards, 12 carries. Hey, somebody wide open. Wide open. It was Emery Moorhead and overthrowing Rusty Lish.
Oh, he was open for such a long time, too.
Lish doesn't believe it. He followed him all the way across, and he was wide open coming all the way across. It'll be third down and 9. We'll pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves. .8:20 remaining in the third quarter from San Diego. The Chicago Bears with the football. Third down and 9. They're at the 46-yard line of San Diego. They are trailing 6-0. Benershka 2 field goals for San Diego. San Diego is showing surprisingly strong defense. In a game the Bears feel that they really need to win. They want that home field advantage. And this time he tries to get it to Anderson. Anderson well covered. And of course Rusty Lish in there because of the injury to Steve Fuller in the early going tonight. Steve Fuller, who started his 4th game for the Bears and was the hottest passer through the month of November in the NFL, went out with a shoulder separation, and we are watching the Bears' last quarterback on the roster, Rusty Lish, tonight.
Don, and watching him throw the ball, he has a nice arm.
Got good strength.
He just hasn't timed it up thus far.
Lots of folks have strong arms. Finzer to punt. Lionel James is back. James, who returned the opening kickoff here in the second half, 55 yards, is at the 10-yard line. Finzer looks for the sideline and catches it, but not where he wanted to catch it. As they're going to mark it out over the 15-yard line near the 17. San Diego holds on to their 6-0 lead with 8:06 remaining in the third quarter. They'll have a 1st and 10 at their 17 when we come back tonight. Dan Fouts, injured last week against Pittsburgh in a 52-24 loss, unable to go tonight, not having a good night. Ed Luther not having certainly a Dan Fouts type of night. Looks over at 1st down and 10 from his own 17-yard line. He does have a 6-0 lead. Jackson, right side. And Ernest Jackson following his blockers out over the 22 to the 23-yard line, gaining about 5 out of that. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Walter Payton, who we talked about earlier, probably the only other passer on this football team, and he has been over in the sidelines, according to our sideline representative, looking at a playbook. And if anything should happen to Rusty Lish, the only quarterback the Bears have remaining, well, we'd see Walter Payton in some kind of a tailback offense, shotgun or something like that.
We might see if something doesn't happen to Rusty.
On 2nd and 5, Jackson right side. Big opening. And Jackson this time football. There's a scramble. The Bears are saying they have it. Jackson, who does not fumble frequently, certainly one of the best runners at holding on to the ball, gives one up. Todd Bell really made a fine tackle. He had his arms around Ernest Jackson and just literally stripped him of the ball. Let's take a look at it. You'll see it from the reverse angle.
I don't think Ernest Jackson ever saw Todd Bell. As you can see, he turns up here, and Todd Bell's going to come from his outside, and he caught the ball up as he was trying to shift arms. He was trying to get the ball away from the receiver, the defender, and he coughed it up and trying to switch it.
I'll tell you, that's why we have that reverse angle. You could not see it at all from our straightaway coverage on this side of the field. And he was trying to do what good ball players do. And you're right, O.J. He saw Todd Bell late, tried to switch it to the right arm to fend off Todd Bell and coughed it up. The Bears had their best field position, 34-yard line, 1st down and 10. The deepest penetration. Payton, right side. And the sweetness inside the 30-yard line. Still held to about 4 yards on that as Lee Williams, the big youngster out of Bethune-Cookman, pursued Payton and took him out of bounds.
Well, Walter's not slow. He's certainly not the fastest running back in the league, but that run was made possible because of his acceleration. Unfortunately, he was probably at his top end when he ran out of bounds there. There are backs like Dickerson who will turn that corner and zip down the sideline because they're able to go up to another gear. Walter doesn't have that 4th or 5th gear, but he certainly has the best 3 gears in football.
2nd down, a long 6.
I like that.
Willie Gault in motion. Payton again. And showing his strength there. That's another plus that Payton offers you. He is really powerful.
That's low gear there.
Yeah. Well, that's
a half a yard short of the 1st down.
Yeah, they got it in low because they got that offensive line just taking the guy in front of them. Square up on him and push him. Don't try to angle block him. Don't try to get position. Just fire off on the man in front of you and let Walter Payton pick the holes. And, hey, I think they should have been doing it earlier.
14 attempts for Walter Payton thus far tonight. 6 yards has been his longest run. But you keep giving it to him, and he likes to get it a lot of times. He's going to pop one sooner or later.
Hey, had a little confusion out there that time. Jay Saldy, tight end, brought a play in. Didn't quite get it all settled, so Rusty says, I'm going to go over and talk this thing over.
And the Bears have to use one of their timeouts. We'll be back to San Diego in just
to make the call. Billy Sims of the Lions runs the right side, stepping on one defender and striking another with his foot. Now you make the call. Is this a legal play by Sims? What did you make? Striking an opponent anywhere above the knee with a foot or any part of the leg is illegal. 15-yard penalty for unnecessary roughness.
A 3rd down and less than a yard. The ball inside the 25-yard line. There was a mix-up in their personnel. Quarterback Rusty Leach called timeout. Got it sorted out with Mike Ditka. Here will be the 3rd and short call. And 3rd and short, looking for all of it. Fish is in trouble. Scampers out of it and gets the 1st down, and that has been his most effective move tonight, running the football. But he gets the 1st down at the 21-yard line. He wanted to go deep, intending it to go deep. On the 3rd and short to his tight end, Emory Moorhead, he was well covered.
Kind of like Mike Ditka here, Don.
Well, he had to do a little something. They just had so little offense. That's a good move by Rusty.
When Lyndon King doesn't miss many tackles, number 57, he did.
And then Mike Green certainly doesn't miss very many. He's the leading tackler on the team, and they gave him the old limp leg, they call that.
Leach, 2nd leading rusher for Chicago. He's carried it 3 times for 23 yards. That's not his role, however. Get that sorted out with him.
The old limp leg, huh?
The old limp leg.
The 21-yard line. Chicago trailing 6-0.
There he is in the middle, right there in the middle. There you go.
Ball is through, and that could have been 6 points. In and out of the hands of Dunsmore. And Tim Fox was looking at the end zone, the opposite end zone. He had a wide open field.
That was amazing.
Tim Fox was just thinking about who's going to catch me.
You're going to see him.
You can see Dunsmore's wide open coming across the middle. Goes up. Ball he should have caught, Don.
Well, he should have. Maybe it would have helped a little bit if it was a little bit lower, but bounced it. Number one bounced it off of
Timmy.
Bill Kay's head. And Tim Fox had it all the way. Nothing but stripes in front of him.
Second down and 11. Fish, last 5 attempts, incomplete. That one dangerously close to a long return on the interception. Suey in motion. Fish in the rollout. Oh, yeah. He got Walter back in the middle. Fish able to get it to Brad Anderson, the rookie from Arizona, and he'll have another Bear first down. It's not pretty, but it's effective.
Walter threw a good block that time, Bo. Generally, you were watching it. He got up after he threw his block and opened up back in the middle as a pass receiver. Like there were little delayed screens back to the middle, and there was no one there.
Well, Leash has all day to throw the football.
That's Anderson's only his 3rd reception of the season.
Probably frightened him when he saw that ball coming in.
What is this providing me?
Is this legal?
Bears just outside the 10-yard line of the Chargers and down 6-0. First down and 10. Walter Payton. There you go, Walter. There it is. There it is. Boy, and you think he's not strong. He saw the goal line, put the head down, and used all that power.
Did he get a good block from Matt Suey?
Should have. Matt Suey, the lead man, through the hole ahead of Payton.
The beautiful. Let me tell you about Tim Fox. Watch at the end of this run, Tim Fox, number 48. He really wishes he intercepted that ball now because he pays a price in the end zone. Now, he should be coming towards Payton, but he doesn't. He stays on the he stays on the goal line, and you're talking about a Tonka truck.
He went from 5'11" to Tim Fox to about 5'8". He just telescoped. Bob Thomas will try and put the Bears on top for the first time tonight with 6:38 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Thomas has the Bears on top 7-6. The Bears playing Mike Ditka football. Tough it out. Don't turn it over. We'll give you the ball sooner or later in good position. They lead 7-6. Deep for San Diego. Lionel James, Buford McGee earlier, opening the second half. Lionel James brought it back 55 yards. Bob Thomas, who has just put the Bears on top with the conversion of a Walter Payton 10-yard touchdown to kick off. Thomas. Lionel James from the 1.
All right, Lionel.
Hey, you, Lionel busts another one. Out over the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 San Diego. I want to remind you, this Saturday, ABC Sports presents the cream of this year's college crop on the 1984 College Football All-American team as selected by the Football Writers of America. Then it's Howard Cosell on the Emmy Award-winning sports beat returning, followed by the return of ABC's Wide World of Sports featuring the International Professional Figure Skating Championships. That, of course, from Madison Square Garden in New York. The action begins at 4 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, 3 o'clock Central, right here on ABC. So be with us this Saturday. 33-yard return for Lionel James. San Diego at their own 34-yard line, now trailing for the first time in this game. Jackson over the left side, out over the 35 for a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8. Mike Singletary defensively there for the Bears. Short punt set off this scoring drive. Maury Buford, 34-yard punt. Flip, 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 flip. And, of course, the 10-yard touchdown run by Walter Payton. Powering in, just putting the head down, following Matt Suey into the end zone.
That's that defense where they get them all up on the line.
Oh, they're all up there, too. Luther tried to get Charlie Joyner the football. Defensively, Sean Gale, the rookie from Ohio State, who has started 4 times coming into tonight for the Bears. They like this youngster. He got eaten up a little bit early in the year by one of the greats.
You're talking about against the Cardinals when he was playing? Was that
Roy Green?
Yeah.
Well, Roy Green has eaten up a lot of people.
Yeah, that's Mike Ditka about that. He said, well, he's beaten the best of them.
Hey, you know,
we didn't think less than Sean Gale. 3rd down and 7 now.
Hey, they got shot
all up there again now. They look like a fire drill, but it isn't. Each one has an assignment.
Well, he backed out of that one that time. He's going deep. Whistles were blowing.
Intended for Duckworth. The whistle had blown. Time may have run out on that.
I think that's what it was.
No, the procedure call, but the 30-second clock had also run down.
77, false start, offense, third down.
Sam Clapham trying to get a jump on Richard Dent. Moving too quickly. The 30-second clock had also ticked down.
Maybe Sam was the one watching the 30-second clock. He knew it was time to go.
As Ed Luther was replacing Dan Fouts and I was looking over that Bear defense, he saw all 11 of them up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's when they should go to an automatic and run a rollout pass. Get away from some of that heat if they can hook the outside man.
He might have been unable to talk. Third down and 11. Both backs stay in. They still chase Luther out. Charlie Joyner, his first reception of the night. And he'll have a Charger first down out at the 44-yard line. And that is reception number 652. As every reception now for Charlie Joyner in his 16th year is going to be a new NFL mark.
And Ed Luther threw the best pass I've seen him throw tonight. He should roll out and throw on the run. He throws the ball better on the run than he does from the pocket.
Bears are saying he didn't get the first down, but the referee Chuck Eberling has moved the yard markers up, and the Chargers keep this possession alive. That was San Diego's first third down conversion of the night. And they had Ed Luther running for his life.
They got him running, but this Charger offensive line is doing a more than decent job of containing this fancy, convoluted, looking at it anyway, defensive unit of Chicago Bears. They should be accustomed to it. The people have blitzed them over the years trying to get the foul.
5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. First down and 10. Look at Jackson over the left side. And down goes Jackson. Singletary chased him all the way and then slid off, but he was floating down.
He did a great job coming behind the center and running him down the line of scrimmage.
That's great reaction from that middle linebacker position.
Well, that's why he played in the Pro Bowl last year.
And he looks fast, too. That guy's taking off.
Jackson got a couple out of it. He's up to 51 yards on the night, Ernest Jackson. He needed 102 coming into tonight's game to overtake Marcus Allen, who has the rushing lead in the AFC. Marcus Allen, after yesterday, 1,074 yards. At the 46, second down and 8. Severs does not hold on as he is hit there by Gary Fincy.
Well, they're putting some pressure. There you saw Singletary again. He was right all over Luther.
Well, Fincy, you know, he's noted to hit guys. He's a hitter. He doesn't have all the speed in the league, but he's always been considered one of the league's premier hitters. As you can see, Singletary.
He's gone a little bananas out there. He's everywhere.
Hitting Luther.
They're very proud of their defensive team, and I'm sure that they had a little chit-chat. Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator, when they were in the locker room at halftime. Third down and 8. Blitz on again. That's goodbye. And completion is Bobby Duckworth. They should catch him. He has great speed. Good football. Can you believe that? And Mike Richardson covers for the Bears at the 4-yard line. I don't know whether he was getting ready to spike it or what. Spike it. He dropped the football at the 3-yard line. Unbelievable. We saw that yesterday in Miami with Clayton, but it bounced into Clayton's arms. He got into the end zone. 52 yards. He could have walked in. Let's watch. Unbelievable.
Listen, a beautiful pass backing up. He never stopped. All arm. You saw Duckworth catch it. One of the fastest guys in the game. And I don't know what he was doing.
He just, I don't know.
He's got a little too much wiggle in his wobble, and the ball just wiggled out.
Wiggle and a wobble.
Funny but sad. That will never be forgotten.
No, that one won't.
That follows you, I'll tell you that.
Actually, that was pretty good hustle by Seaver, too. He almost recovered that ball. I'm sorry.
Chargers could have taken the lead. Now the Bears have the ball. First down and 10 at their 4-yard line. Hurdles out close to the 9-yard line. Gain of 5.
Oh, that is so sad.
Poor Bobby Duckworth.
Man. Well, he added about 60 yards to his average average.
Yeah. Well, you touched on something that we were so astonished with what happened. We didn't really quite say enough about. Ed Luther reading that blitz perfectly and changed it up. Got the ball in there perfectly to Duckworth.
Little wrong foot pass that time, too. He just zipped it right with his hand and his arm.
2nd down and 5. Payton once again. Payton close to a first down.
As you can see, watch he start throwing those shoulders, you know. He had the end of a run, and as he threw the shoulder arm back, the ball just slipped right out of him.
That is.
I think he was on the verge of celebration there.
Have a flag down. Penalty coming up. The Bears are going to be brought back. Payton had the yardage for the first down.
Holding. Offense, number 78. Half the distance. 2nd down.
Keith Van Horn holding. He's a senior member of this offensive line of the Bears, and he's only in his 4th year.
He says, I didn't do it. He seems that I didn't do that.
Yeah, they got a great offensive line here. You can tell that by the yardage that Walter, through most of the season, has been able to get. And they average 25 years of age, so they'll be together for quite a while.
2nd down and 10.
Now, this is a strange lineup here.
That's Dennis Gentry at setback. Leash has a man wide open. And it's complete to Brad Anderson, and Brad Anderson will have a first down.
Tony Lish is down, getting up very. He got hit pretty hard after he released that ball.
Look at it from the end zone. He does get hit hard. Keep in mind the Bears are down to their last quarterback, and this is Leash getting really racked. And there is still another penalty coming up.
And you were talking earlier, Frank, the Bears have not been penalized very much this year. But they've had 3 holding penalties already, and this may be 4.
Talking it over with the Chargers. Getting the option there is the acting captain on the field, Billy Ray Smith. Son of the other Billy Ray Smith, the All-Pro from Baltimore many years ago.
Pass interference. Offense, number 33. Half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
That's Calvin Thomas coming out of the backfield. I don't know what he was interfering with. Leash was looking all the way to Brad Anderson, the man to whom he completed the pass for the first down. Down remains the same. Penalty, half the distance to the goal, so the Bears are at the 2-yard line. Again from the end zone, Rusty Leash. He'll run it out. And down at the 14-yard line. He could have dived for the first down. He's about a yard short, and he'll have the 3rd down coming up.
If he would have slid like Pete Rose instead of like the normal baseball player, he would have had the first down.
Head first.
Rusty Leash, who has provided quite a bit of the Bears' offense tonight, running.
I'm a little surprised that the Chargers, knowing that Lish hasn't played much, they're not blitzing him as much as maybe they should. Giving him a lot of time back there because his offensive line is doing a super job against the front 4 of the Chargers.
Rusty was so close to the first down. Didn't quite get there. He could have dived for it very easily.
3rd down coming up.
2:58 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the Bears on top, 7-6. 10-yard touchdown run by Walter Payton, who has been held in rather tight check tonight. Like Ditka chomping on the gum. 8-8 a year ago. They played great football towards the end of last year and has already clinched the Bears' first championship of anything since 1963 when they won the NFL championship.
Here's somebody else who's got 10 men on the line. Look at that Charger defense.
3rd and short. Whoa. Calvin Thomas. And it so often happens if you break that first layer of defense.
Yeah.
In that short yardage defense, you can break off a big one, and Thomas gets out to the 25-yard line. First down, Chicago.
And this is the best the offense has done tonight for the Bears because they've been penalized a couple of times. Oh, Walter's going to probably draw a crowd, but look at it. He makes a nice little block.
Excellent block.
He made a fine block against Lyndon King, who's 6'5" and 250. Walter Payton taking King to the ground. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Bears leading 7-6.
Can't believe Duckworth dropped the ball. Fish will go down.
Fred Robinson, a rookie from Miami. They got him from Tampa Bay on waivers. One of the many players they've had to bring in. There's a 10-yard loss. And here is Bobby Duckworth saying, I didn't do that, did I? He's a really nice young man. And he is befuddled.
He'll get an opportunity to redeem himself.
There was a loss of almost 10 yards on the sack of Lish. He just wasn't as lucky as Mark Clayton, whom I mentioned a moment ago, as having had the same thing happen to him down in Miami. He dropped it. Ball bounced right into his hands.
That was an interesting ruling on that play, incidentally.
2nd and 20, and Lish is in the arms of Billy Ray Smith. All the way back to the 2-yard line, but they'll mark it out around the 7. That's where it hurts.
You're coming.
Fred Robinson says, hey, back it up. I got him way back there. Delicious progress to stop at the 7. That's where they mark it. It's 3rd down and a big bundle for Chicago.
That's really the mistake of the quarterback as much as anything else. You just can't allow yourself to be sacked. You got to either get rid of the ball quickly, you got to read it more quickly.
Get it off to somebody.
Yeah, you just
or in their direction.
Can't let that one happen.
3rd down and 32.
Well, you have to play to learn those things.
Wonder what kind of play Ditka has for a 3rd and 32. I bet you Lish hasn't got to play for it.
Give it to Walter. Let him throw it.
Try this man, Walter Payton. Payton at least got breathing room for the punting unit as he is out over the 20-yard line to the 21. Lyndon King stopping Payton there. And Chicago brings out Dave Finzer once again. Now San Diego should get it back in good field position. Payton doing his thing. He's having really tough sledding tonight. He's been hit very hard. Starts up San Diego defense.
He headed one of them toward the barn and scored a nice touchdown with about a 10-yard run. Walter's fun to watch.
They may run off the final seconds of the 3rd quarter before Chicago gets the ball in the air. And I believe the time will run out. There it is. Chicago leading after 3 over San Diego 7-6. We'll be back for 4th quarter action after this. We begin the 4th quarter from San Diego. The Chicago Bears over the San Diego Chargers 7-6. Lionel James has dropped for San Diego. Dave Finzer on to punt on 4th down and 14. Finzer this time turns it over, and James is at his 40-yard line. And he'll stay there as the Bears hustle down with their special team. And it'll be 1st down San Diego at their 40-yard line. Coming up later tonight on Nightline, the United States Senate. Everyone agrees it has changed, but has it lost the power and dignity our founding fathers intended? A look at that tonight on Nightline, following your late local news on most of these ABC stations. Kellen Winslow, who came into tonight after being out for 4 weeks, tied with Charlie Joyner as a leading receiver with San Diego with 55 receptions. What a great, great football player. Hopefully he can come back and display those wonderful skills that he has over the years. Knee surgery, of course, 5 weeks ago. Ernest Jackson hit at the line of scrimmage, struggled for a yard and a half. He stuck it down at 9. Dan Hampton defensively. Take a look at the halftime stats, and then we'll dissolve them into 3rd quarter numbers for you. Show you what transpired in the 3rd period. There you have it. Of course, rushing yardage dominated there by Chicago. 10 yards of that 126 was a 10-yard Walter Payton touchdown run. 2nd down and 9. Luther under pressure again. And trying to come back for it. Charlie Joyner incomplete. So once again, Luther was pressured. The blitz was on. Otis Wilson, weak side linebacker, in there pressuring.
I tell you, Luther can throw the ball on the run as well as just about anybody I've ever seen. I mean, and he gets a lot on the ball when he throws it.
He threw that one, and he didn't get sacked. That's about the best thing he did.
Of course, pressed into service. Dan Fouts hurt a week ago. He started 6 for Dan Fouts a year ago. He won 1 and lost 5. Had a big game against Dallas. And, of course, coming in last week, he passed for 296 yards when he replaced Dan Fouts. He's capable. 3rd and 9. Luther threw that too hard to Severs. He had a step on the defender, Mike Singletary. Luther almost knocked Severs down.
And Luther is still down. He's been beat up pretty good tonight. He's limping off again.
That'll bring up 4th down.
He says, this is what Fouts does every week. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, this Chicago
Gaining
team.
even more respect for Dan Fouts.
And he's only been out twice.
This Chicago team will beat you up. You remember the picture we saw of Archie Manning in the paper a few weeks ago after this Chicago team sacked him 11 times?
And the Raiders remember them, too, don't they?
He knocked a couple of Raiders out of that game with the Bears. Gilbert, low punt. Looking for the sideline, and he'll get it just at the 20-yard line. So Chicago will get it back. They'll have a 1st down and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Early minutes of the 4th period, and Chicago leading 7-6. We'll be back. Pressed into action tonight with Steve Fuller. He started his 4th game for an injured Jim McMahon. Went out with a separated shoulder. The Charger defense has played well tonight. It actually played well against Steve Fuller, who went out when he was 3 of 4 for 20 yards in the 1st quarter. 1st and 10, Chicago. Walter Payton, left side. He goes down in the arms of Mike Green. The Bears, of course, feel they're going to have to win all 3 of the remaining games tonight, Green Bay and then Detroit, because they have to have a better record than the winner of that Eastern Division. And they will be 10 and 4 if they pull off the victory tonight. That Eastern Division really tied up in knots with the Giants, the Cowboys, and Washington. San Francisco, of course, locked up the division, and of course, they will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And these are the other contenders. The Rams still have to face Houston, and then we'll watch them Friday night, a week from Friday night, against San Francisco in San Francisco. 2nd down and 5 as Walter Payton is stacked up, gain of about a yard. That San Diego defense is playing well tonight.
They are playing a lot better, I think. They're not as concerned about a passing attack as maybe they would be some, so they really kind of zeroed in on Walter, I think, at the beginning of this. And sure enough, they have been able to do that without having to worry too much about a passing game.
Well, I think what they're trying to do now is run Walter inside, just trying to be a little more physical with this Charger team, and the Charger team is hanging in there. Got to give them credit, boy. They seem to be just a tad too quick.
3rd down and 3 at the 26-yard line. Look out. Complete. Willie Galt. He'll have 1st down yardage out of the 32-yard line. Willie Galt ended tonight 28 receptions and 5 touchdowns. Not terribly happy, one would suspect, with the type of offense the Bears have employed this year, and that is run the ball, possession football. Galt with that great speed, and he can really fly. Would like to be included in a few more deeper patterns, one would suspect.
And when you're playing against the 27th, second to last rated defensive team against the pass, it's surprising that the Chicago Bears aren't trying to take advantage of that and throw the ball downfield more.
And here they are in the 4th quarter, leading 7-6. Walter Payton. And Payton just powering out near the 40-yard line in the arms of Billy Ray Smith and assorted Charger defenders. Short of the 1st down by about 3.
Well, Walter's working tonight. You know, you sort of feel in his oath this morning. He said to me, he said, you know, Juice, I always thought you would be number 2 on the list of, as we look at this, he told me, I always thought you'd be number 2 on the list for, you know, single season yardage. And after next year, you're going to be number 3.
Hey, that reference to Ditka's contract refers to a statement made by Michael McCaskey, the operating officer for the Bears, a few weeks ago on radio, said that not going to discuss the contract until after the season. Bears now 2nd down and 3. And down goes Payton, 1st down. So It will be
That was a good move by Billy Ray.
short as Billy Ray Smith stepped into the gap.
Very similar to what we saw Singletary do a while ago from that linebacker position. Take that one step, read the guard, get in there, and try to get the back before he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Getting back to that contract discussion, that is what Michael McCaskey said at the beginning of the season, too. Michael McCaskey came in last year following the death of the legendary George Halas. Ed McCaskey is the chief executive officer of the Bears. McCaskey runs the ball club, and he had little or no background. An intellectual type, teacher at UCLA, Harvard.
Another mess up.
Another personnel mix-up by the Bears. They have to use another timeout. They're down to 1. So he'll go over and talk to Mike Ditka. We'll be back in San Diego in a moment. They're down short yardage for the Bears. I mentioned what I was talking about a moment ago to Mike Ditka this morning about his contract. He said, I'm a free agent January 31st. He will say what he thinks. Out over the 40-yard line, 1st and 10 Chicago.
Oh, that boy can run.
Will he go? And that should bring a flag.
Oh, well, he took a shot at the last minute.
Lucius Smith ran right into Galt, who was coming back with the ball. Galt bitterly complaining, no flags are down.
Boy, he can fly. He ran by Lucius like he wasn't even there. He's holding up for the ball. A hand went up. He didn't wave it, but he did hit him.
That's not interference.
Well, it's as close as you can get
I'm
to
telling you.
Take a look at it. Let's see if the ball gets to Willie before he gets there.
I think
if the ball hits
contact
him
was made
before
long before the ball.
I'll be darned.
No flag. Dave Penzer on to punt. Lionel James is back for San Diego. Boy, I'll tell you, Galt went by him like he was standing still.
Oh, he got him a good one that time.
Penzer turns it over, and James gets away from one defender at the 15 and drops back to the 11 where he's taken there. First man was Brian Basnagel. San Diego will start deep in their own territory. They're down by 1 with 9:54 remaining in the game. Cool here in San Diego. It's been raining on and off throughout the day. However, the rain has stopped this evening and the temperature has started to drop. It's going into the 60s tonight. And that is cool in San Diego for those of you in the east.
Damn. And cool.
1st and 10 San Diego. Down by 1 point. They have the ball at their own 12-yard line. Ed Luther going all the way for the Chargers. He had to get rid of it. He was looking for an out and up by Joyner. He got a half an out and half an up.
Thing I don't understand, the fans are booing Luther. They don't realize this is all they got. He got a count. He can't walk. Don't boo the man. Help him.
And he could have gotten sacked if he hadn't thrown the ball on that play.
Hey, when you watch Dan Fouts over the years, for 12 years, and
he spoiled
got a youngster named Ed Luther who is really, and Fouts as well, he never gets to even practice hardly. He's out there doing his best, and he's playing against the #1 defense in the league. Just trying to get out of this alive.
Here it goes again.
Going up deep again. All right, don't drop it. Don't drop it.
Don't drop it.
Hang on to it, Bobby. All right.
All right, Bobby.
He beat Sean Gale, and if you were with us earlier, you saw him having a touchdown right within his grasp, drop the football. This one he does not drop. Let's watch it on split screen. Luther on your right, Bobby Duckworth working against Sean Gale defensively for the Bears.
They just booed Luther the play before when he overthrew, but look at this, was dropped right in there. Couldn't throw one any better, and we're all pulling for Bobby to hold on to this one. I can't believe it. He actually did that. Can you?
That was the second longest pass completion in the history of the Chargers.
Now, that's amazing.
The Chargers with Dan Fouts, 88 yards. Bobby Duckworth, they've said all along in his 3 years that he has the great deep speed that they have looked for. Congressman Jack Kemp, would you believe, holds the record. They went to Keith Lincoln in 1961.
91 yards.
With 91 yards. Duckworth, vindicated. Benoshka is on. Chargers in the lead once again. Chargers take the lead. 13-7. We have 9:37 remaining in the game. Away, Bobby. We knew you could hold on to it.
There's justice after all.
Duckworth crossed the goal line on that last 88-yard touchdown pass, we know what he was trying to do with the first one.
That's it. You see Luther and Danny Fouts talking on the sideline with a little grin between them. Tell him what they're talking about. That a way to go, kid, he said.
Quick look at Jack Cameron and Dave Dewerson for the Bears awaiting the kickoff from Ralph Manushka. 9:37 remaining. The Chargers on top once again, 13-7. Jack Cameron fumbles the ball. Is going to bring it out. Stays in the end zone. It'll be a touchback for the Bears. They'll have the ball at the 20-yard line.
This one won't take long to show you, folks.
Will be a long line on this one. Watch the black.
Zip, zip.
Yeah. Take a look at it from the end zone. The blitz was on. Singletary. Good pickup, too.
They tried this play before, as you mentioned, Frank, the Joyner, a similar play, just up on that outside.
Now, here's what Bobby said. Here's what I was trying to do the first time.
You see, I was just way behind everybody. Yeah, that's fun.
Bears, they could really hurt themselves if they lose this game tonight. And they know that. They're looking for that home field advantage in the first playoff. Walter Payton over the left side. Held to about a 3-yard pickup. He's really been contained tonight as Walter Payton. He did, however, move out over 13,000 yards. Marvelous career. Gave up a first-round draft pick. That was 10 years ago. Holds the NFL record for yardage gained in a single game at 275 yards against Minnesota in '77. Has replaced Jimmy Brown, all-time leading rusher. Has the most 100-yard games, the all-time combined rushing leader in the NFL. Tonight he has 93 yards on 22 attempts, and it's been tough going. 2nd and 6. Leash. Calvin Thomas. Wow, that's hitting.
Calvin decided to go straight then, didn't he? I think I'll go straight.
The shortest, fastest way to 2 points straight ahead. He
picked
did
on the biggest linebacker on the field, Lyndon King, 6'5" and 250, but he gets the first down.
Little quick layoff. You see Lennon with the big, deep drop. Calvin says, here I go. Got some help from his friends on the inside.
33-yard line, first down, Chicago. They've got to start getting serious. Not that they haven't, but I think they might have come in taking these charges just a little too lightly. Walter Payton. That's got to be Billy Ray Smith stepping right into the hole. Actually, it's Mike Green, the other young linebacker. Mike Green came up last year, a 9th-round draft pick, became a starter, along with Billy Ray Smith, the first-round celebrated draft pick. They both started a year ago. Mike Green actually has turned in the best performance, as Billy Ray Smith, a stand-up defensive lineman at Arkansas, is really just starting to become familiar with that inside linebacking position.
That's something, though, that's really good to have to work when you're going to try to build a new defense. Let's say you start with those 2 guys like that and go. A couple of good ones in the middle.
Gain of a couple, it'll be 2nd down and 8. Play action by Lish.
Over the middle.
Ooh, has the man open, Jay Saldy. Jay Saldy is really top, hit by Tim Fox, and Tim Fox now slow getting up.
Saldy was the guy that was in Dallas when Ditka was there playing tight end. He wanted out of Dallas, and they obliged him, and there he is in Chicago.
Well, and I'll tell you, the former New England Patriot, Tim Fox, has provided a lot of heavy hitting in his time, and he really collides here with Saldy.
Oh, they almost held on to that ball, though, didn't they?
Tim Fox literally was going after the ball as we look at 2 of the great receivers, Winslow and Joyner.
Roommates on the road. Winslow coming out to participate in the celebration of Charlie Joyner Day at halftime.
If Winslow comes back healthy, he's the guy that's most likely going to replace Joyner one day.
That's right.
The all-time leader.
3rd down and 8. Lish getting out of there again. Moving tight pocket. Tried to get it out to Brad Anderson. Incomplete, and the Chargers were going to get the ball back, and the crowd loves it. Bears 9-4, looking to go 10-4, stay in control of their own destiny as far as the playoff hopes are concerned. And they've run into a buzzsaw tonight here in San Diego. Lionel James drops. Dave Fenzer with his 11th punt. Punt 11 times, your offense is not controlling things very well. Zinser gets off a beauty. Hangs up there. James holds on to the football somehow. James was really hit.
You can see, he can sort of sense the man is right on him. And fortunately,
Anthony Hutchinson is the guy that's there, isn't he?
Fortunately, being 5'6", he can get under the blow.
Hutchinson really pounded Lionel James. And San Diego, 13-7 they lead. First down and 10. The ball at the 17-yard line. Just under 6 minutes remain to be played. His Chargers out of the playoffs, playing for personal pride tonight. Injury racked as they've been throughout the season. Ernest Jackson. Boom. Turning back into the defense, hit right at the line of scrimmage. We want to remind you that ABC Sports presents the exciting bowl games under Don Shula. Both games will be shown live at 8 o'clock Eastern. You'll see them right here on ABC. The Gator Bowl. And then, of course, the big one. That's almost picked off.
But that one, he was open. And he had knows it. Duckworth went to the inside that time and had a little step or two.
The Gator Bowl and the Sugar Bowl here on ABC. So be with us. Third down and 9. Gary Fencing, he took a class under Howard Cosell up at Yale. He was actually a record-breaking receiver at Yale. Miami drafted him, and they let him go, and the Bears picked him up, and he has had 9 great years at Chicago. Third down and 9. Luther just back in the pocket. Rifles the pass is complete. Chandler.
That's a well-thrown ball. That one had a lot of authority there.
Luther now 12 of 29. And the numbers are starting to look better for Ed Luther.
Starts off, he gets a little protection. That looks like Fouts backing out there that time. A little back wiggle and wobble. He'll turn and go.
That's pretty spiral.
Yeah. Nicely thrown ball.
Chandler out to the 37-yard line.
Looks like Chicago's gotten away from their defensive game plan. Dan Hampton told us today that they wanted to collapse the pocket and come up the middle, and they're giving him the middle to step up in to throw the ball.
Clock now starting to become a factor for these Bears as Jackson struggled for a yard, maybe 2 yards over the right side. And Luther getting up close to a 300-yard game. 275 yards and a touchdown.
More of a factor with the Bears than it will be some other teams because they haven't been very explosive. They've got that rather conservative approach. So a little bit under 5 minutes to go. San Diego still has the ball.
Can't believe when they get it back, we won't see Willie Galt on a fly kind of action. He ran right by Lucius Smith earlier. The ball was underthrown. He was 2 or 3 yards behind the defender, Lucius Smith. His first deep attempt of the night. Second down and 9. Jackson works out to the 45-yard line, short of the first down by a couple. It'll be 3rd and 2. Tyrone Keys defensively there for Chicago. The Bears lose tonight. They're going to fall back to a 9-5 record. Dallas is 9-5. The Giants are 9-5. Washington are 9-5 in the National Football Conference.
The Rams.
And the Rams 9-5. But the Bears know to get that home field advantage, they've clinched their division already, that they have got to finish better than the winner of that Eastern Division of the NFC. And they will not be in control of their own fate if they lose this one tonight. And they are getting dangerously close to that. We're inside 4 minutes, and they trail 13-7. A flag, and a big contact was made, and that should give San Diego a first down unless they have drawn
He's saying it was
them off.
And San Diego.
San Diego must have drawn off Richard Dent. Yeah, they're saying it was Ed Luther. He provided the false start that drew the Bears offside. And San Diego now will be looking at a 3rd down and 7.
We might even call this one critical, as a matter of fact. You know it?
Can't give any kind of emotion or something like that. I mean, you can't give anything as outrageous as a head bob as Luther tried to suck him off. He knew he was looking at a 3rd and 2. He was trying to get a cheap one.
But some quarterbacks will do that on every play. They don't call it against you, but you can't just wait to the last 3 minutes in the game and try to do it.
Bears are all up there. Showing blitz. They come with it. And down goes Luther. The blitz was on. It was Dave Durson, who has twice now been able to trap Luther. All right.
This could be it for the old Bears. 3 minutes, 36 seconds to go.
57 sacks now for the Chicago Bears. The leader in the NFL is Washington with 58. San Diego will have to punt. 3:32 remaining. The clock is moving as Jeff Fisher drops back. Maury Buford to punt. Buford had to hurry that. And here comes Jeff Fisher. Out of the 30 to the 32-yard line. So Chicago will have the ball back. 3:11 remaining in the game. And they trail 13-7. And Chicago, keep in mind, had to use 2 timeouts because of personnel problems. They're down to 1. Rusty
10 for 24 for 71 yards.
Can't really expect too much because you know that Rusty Lish has not been getting the work in practice. He had only thrown the ball into tonight 28 times for the Bears, completing 15. Had 4 interceptions of those 28 attempts. Did not play all that much over the past 4 years with the Cardinals. It's up to him to pull this out. Matsui underneath, and he'll have a first down out at the 44-yard line. The flags are all over the field.
That's right. 3 of them are down back at. Got to be holding again. I'll tell you that they've been hurt with those holding penalties.
I think that might have been holding squared.
Could have been.
3 different flags dropped. Mike Ditka. He's a throwback to the old Chicago Bears.
Holding offense, number 34.
Well,
First
Walter.
Call that against Walter Payton.
He may be a throwback to the old Chicago Bears, but I just hope that they just hit some of their plays here tonight, because with this offense, as good as they are on defense, they're in the playoffs. They aren't going to go too far in the playoffs, but they can't take advantage of a team's weakness, and they should be throwing the ball downfield on this San Diego team.
First down and 20. Walter Payton. And he is hit and dropped. Woody Lowe there first defensively, and then Mike Green stepped in to help out.
He's good, but he's not that good.
That is a gain of about 5. Second down, still long yardage. Second down, 13.
Yeah, this defensive team for the Chargers, even when they were healthy, they were next to last in pass defense.
They got 2 new corners tonight. Guys haven't been out on the corners.
Guys been driving trucks.
Guys making their first start. Lucius Smith and John Turner. Second and long. Lish underneath. Matsui once again. That's just good, hard running by Suey to get it close to the first down. Tim Fox made the stop, and now the Bears will be looking at a 3rd down and 2, and with 2:20, the clock stopped with the out-of-bounds maneuver by Suey. Well, they are probably going to be also in what you might call your 4-down mode. There'll be no punting. Tom Bass, the defensive coordinator, give him credit. He's suffered not only physically with that torn bicep and surgery over the past couple of weeks, but he has suffered as he has watched 65 players come through the San Diego roster, most of them because of defensive injuries. And that's his job, getting that defense together. 3rd and 2. Lish. Suey, first down out of the 45-yard line. It's simple, but it's effective. You're not burdening a young quarterback who has not seen that much action. They won't get a playoff before the 2-minute warning. They only have 1 timeout remaining, and there it is. 2 minutes remaining. The Bears desperately trying to get back into the game. They trail 13-7. We'll be back with the action remaining here in San Diego. San Diego Chargers putting on quite an impressive show. As we mentioned several times, next to last defensively in the NFL, last in their conference against the pass. They've been tough against the run, second-rated in their conference, but that's because teams haven't had to run on them. The Bears are not doing that tonight. The Bears have a first down and 10. They trail 13-7. The ball just out over their own 45-yard line. And Lish is in the shotgun. Lish. And he gets the completion. It goes to Baschnagel, the veteran out of Ohio State. He stops the clock with the first down at 1:55 on a 14-yard pickup. And we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
WTAE-TV, Channel 4, Pittsburgh.
So the Bears keep it alive. They have a first down at the 40-yard line, 1:55 remaining. San Diego with their 2 field goals led 6-0 until Walter Payton got a 10-yard touchdown run. In the third quarter, Ed Luther came back with an 88-yard touchdown pass in the fourth to Bobby Duckworth. That's the scoring. 13-7 the Chargers. First down and 10. Lish is back. Walter Payton. And Payton gets another first down. Inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Tim Fox defensively.
You get the feeling they could have done this the whole game.
Yeah, you wonder why not, don't you?
Boy, and would they love to have those 2 timeouts remaining. The ones they had to use because of personnel problems. Look out, boy. Intercepted. The line. Lee Williams.
It's over. It's in it all.
Lee Williams, the USFL player this past season, and look at Lee. She can't believe it. Nor can Bobby Duckworth.
I'm telling you.
Lee's got excellent hands.
65-yard return of the interception. Don tried to warn Lish. The man was coming.
May have been the shortest interception in history. I think the ball traveled about 2 yards here.
He got back.
Bingo!
Keith Ferguson provided the hit. Lee Williams was right there. O.J. said he had good hands. He didn't even bobble it.
He didn't drop it either.
Didn't even spike it, did he?
I bet he's tired.
You bet.
1:15 remaining. And now Chicago is going to need help. They're going to need help.
Help.
Somebody, or all of them, in the NFC East. They'll play Green Bay at home next Sunday. Then they'll go on to play Detroit. Benershka on for the conversion. And this crowd, there were a lot of no-shows, but a lot of them stuck around. Proud of a particularly great defensive effort by the Chargers. There's the man that had just scored from 65 yards out. I want to remind you, 8 o'clock next Monday night, we're going to be in Detroit with the Raiders as they continue their pursuit of the playoffs. They're looking awfully good. They're playing so well. Winners over Miami yesterday. And then we'll be watching Eric Dickerson against the 49ers on Friday night. That's December 14th, Friday night, at our regular time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. I mentioned all those 9 and 5 teams. The Giants, Washington, Dallas. I'd like to say the Giants could clinch a playoff spot next Sunday if they defeat the Cardinals and the Rams lose to Houston, assuming, of course, that next week's Dallas-Washington game does not end in a tie. And no matter how complex that is, Giant fans I know have been waiting a long time for a divisional title. They have a good shot at it.
You know, it's even wilder. If the Cardinals win all their games, they wind up winning the division.
True.
I tell you what's even wilder. This Charger team wish they can play in any division besides the AFC West. You know, they're 7-1 against all the other divisions, and they're 0-6 in the AFC West.
1:15 remaining. Benershka to kick off. Jack Cameron, Dave Duerson are back, and it's going to be a long ride back to Chicago for the Bears. I think they came in here thinking they had a pretty good shot at this game. Chargers struggling. They didn't have Dan Fouts. Chuck Munch is gone. Kellen Winslow. Here's Dave Duerson. The reverse to Jack Cameron. Or Todd Bell on the reverse. Todd Bell gets to the 25-yard line. That's about it. Let's take a look at it again. The man who caused it was Keith Ferguson, number 76. Here he is.
He's zeroing in, isn't he?
Hilgenberg tried to get back and block him. The ball came loose, and there goes Lee Williams on a 65-yard rumble, and I mean rumble. He's a big one.
Hilgenberg appeared as if he was trying to tackle him from behind.
He got it.
I thought that was Keith Van Horn at first.
Bears one timeout.
That's right. Did you know that this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League? It is, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. Now you know.
From the shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Dunsmore works on his yearly stats. 22-yard pickup.
You've got to wonder now if this late in the season you could find another quarterback, because if both of theirs are hurt, they're going with Lish. That might be a little too risky. Where do you find a quarterback this late? Lish. If he doesn't get out of bounds.
Pass to the Bear quarterback.
Ooh, might be a knee right there. Oh,
he gets the first down at the 41-yard line. Lyndon King takes him down there. The Bears line up quickly once again. Final seconds ticking off. Down to 20 seconds. Fish stops the clock with the incompletion, but a flag is down. While they sort it out, we'll tell you, our executive producer of ABC Sports is Ron Arledge. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football produced by Bob Goodrich. Directed by Chet Forty. Technical Director Joe Chavo. Halftime producer Peter Lasser. Associate Director Kim Belton. Technical Manager Coach Coltrane. Unit Manager Marshall Lopez. Telecommunications Manager Frank Belzer. Assistants to the producer Tony Tortorisi and Charlie Wiseman. Stats and graphics tonight. Steve Hurt working overtime with his UNIVAC. He does some job. Statistician
Illegal
Joe Cox.
motion, offense, 2 men moving, first down.
And computer and graphics tonight. Steve Macheska. Booth assistant Jackie Harris. Our spotter Steve Bazika. We're all here in San Diego on a very chilly night and a very exciting night for the Chargers. They're going to go to 500. They'll be 7-7.
Now, this is going to be it. This will be the fewest points that the Bears have scored, and the fewest points.
Walter Payton showing that straight arm that O.J. talked about earlier.
That the Chargers have allowed.
That straight arm is a punch. I'm telling you, it's like Larry Holmes.
He let him go, did he?
He sure does. Right upside the head, too.
Well, we're getting down to it. We're going to be in Detroit with the Raiders. Special time, 8 o'clock. So be with us. 6 seconds remaining. And then a week from Friday night, we'll be in San Francisco. Special night. We'll watch Eric Dickerson of the Rams. Should be going for O.J. Simpson's record of 2,003 yards in a single season.
Special for you.
Little trick play, and it backfires. The lateral.
Oh, that is
picked off. John Turner got the lateral. Time has run out, and the Chargers have stunned the Chicago Bears 20-7. Wasn't close. And the Bears have got themselves in trouble.